Hello and welcome to the 11th episode of the True Dollar Web Series. As you may know by now, this year, Texas Trust is presenting a monthly webinar on Facebook Live every second Tuesday of the month to help our community and members manage their finances better during the tough times that we are living in. So my name is Tyra Garcia, and I am a business and community engagement partner here at Texas Trust, and I will be your moderator today. Like always, you're welcome to engage with us by leaving comments or questions during the live session, and we will be sure to answer as many questions as we can in the allotted time or get back to you individually. Okay. So we have two fantastic industry professionals with us here today who will cover the basics of investing your money and what your options look like. But first, we at Texas Trust would like to highlight some resources accessible to our communities. So every month, we will be highlighting a nonprofit organization located in one of our Texas Trust towns. So November's spotlight nonprofit organization is Grand Prairie United Charities, located in Grand Prairie, Texas. So I would like to invite their executive director, Ms. Patty Brock, to share how they are an incredible resource for our community. So Patty will also stay on to the end just to take any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you, Tyra. Thank you, Texas Trust, for being such a great partner to us and to our community, for all the things you do for us and all the things you do for those around us. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the opportunity to visit with you and be on today. Grand Prairie United Charities is in Grand Prairie, hence the name, hence Tyra's introduction. We've been around since 1955, so we just celebrated our 66th birthday. Started by a woman here in Grand Prairie in her garage, just saw the need and stepped up and met the need, which is just amazing. And we've been doing it ever since. Like any organization, we've taken our turns and we've really focused on what we do best, and that's food and finance. We have a food bank that's open 4 days a week. To anybody in Grand Prairie, all you need is a driver's license or a utility bill letting us know you work here and you can come and get food. We are under the North Texas food umbrella, which means we can get food for pennies on the dollars if we need it. But we also have several retail partners that we go up and pick food up 3 times a week, and that would be Walmart, Target, Aldi, and all of those. So their donations is what helps us keep helping those in our community that have needs. On the finance side, we have been blessed this last year due to COVID to have a lot of funding available to people in needs that lost their job or hours cut back. The city, the counties, the state, even some federal funds and our regular funds stepped up and gave more. A year ago, we put about $400,000 through our agency. This last year with COVID, we put $1.4 million through our agency, helped almost 35,000 people. So it was a busy time for us. On the finance side, we can help with utilities, we can help with rent, mortgage, we can help with some shelter. We help put some homeless into hotels when it's necessary. All of this is done with a finance check. All of them have to meet the county set limitations of financial needs, but we are glad to be able to continue to do this for our community and feel like we're still, feeling a need that's out there. I don't know that any of us, if an emergency happens, could be in a bind financially. And that's really what we're here to do. Our mission statement is to provide emergency financial assistance to family in needs, with the hope that once we get past that emergency and that financial need, they're able to get back on their feet and go forward with the life that they want to live. So with that, we'd love to have more partners like Texas Trust. And if there's anybody that has any questions, we run our agency on 2 full-time employees, 2 part-time. So our volunteers are critical to us, as well as our donating partners, our fundraisers. We have a great event coming up on the 20th of this month, a great concert. So look on our website, find out information about us, and please, if we can be of help to you, reach out to us. If you know somebody that will need some help, have them reach out to us. And thank you again, Tyra.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Patty. And we're so glad that you guys were able to join us. I know that this is like a really busy time of year for you guys over there at Grand Prairie United Charities. So now a little bit about Texas Trust Credit Union. So our mission is to build brighter financial futures. We've been helping people live brighter since 1936. So we're a not-for-profit company, which means that we invest profit back into the credit union to help our members and communities by offering higher savings rates, lower loan rates, and through community engagement. So we're a full service financial institution with about 20 locations in Texas. And for more information, come check us out at texastrustcu.org. Now I would like to introduce our presenters for today, Mr. Jim Blazik and Sarah Fogle. So our investment team is led by Jim Blazik, the Vice President of Investment Services. Jim has been assisting members of Texas Trust Investment Services for 26 years and specializes in creating retirement income programs, tax advantage investing, and high net worth account management. Jim holds his securities license Series 7, 24, and 63, and a life and health insurance license. Sarah Fogle is our financial consultant and insurance agency manager. She's been with Texas Trust Investment Services for 15 years. She specializes in college savings planning, retirement planning, and CD alternatives. She holds life and health and property and casualty insurance licenses, the Series 6 and Series 63 security licenses. Her goal is to help our members on their path to financial success. Jim and Sarah, we're excited to have you present today, and I will turn it over to you now.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Tara, and welcome to the True Dollar presentation entitled Investing Your Money. My name is Jim Blazik, and as Tara mentioned, I manage the investment services here at Texas Trust. So how do investment services benefit our members? Well, I believe the slide listing our mission statement sums it up, I think, quite accurately. Texas Trust Investment Services is committed to helping our members build, manage, and preserve their wealth. We provide personalized financial advice utilizing goals-based wealth management strategies. It's a lot of words. They're all-encompassing. What I'm going to do here in the next 30 to 45 minutes is kind of break that down and show you exactly what we do have to offer here at the credit union. So on the next slide, let's start our discussion with, well, let me go to the overview here. My plan today is to give you an overview on some of the key areas of financial investing I've found most helpful to our members. I also want to address a few of the most frequently asked questions that I've been asked over my 26 years here at Texas Trust. So let's begin on the next slide. We're going to start our discussion with what I would say is probably the most important topic of financial planning among our members: retirement planning. Now, whether you're starting your first job, you're approaching retirement, or you're already retired, there's always some aspect of financial planning applicable to your particular stage in life. So I'd like to start off with some of the basic components of saving for retirement. So question number one of the most frequently asked questions by our members is, how do I save for retirement? Well, there's no simple answer, but to break it down, you have two basic ways to accomplish this. All right. Number one, many companies / employers offer what we call a company-sponsored retirement plan to their employees. The most popular, of course, being the 401k plan. This plan allows you to defer a portion of your regular paycheck into an investment program designed for long-term growth. How much? Well, that can vary from year to year. The maximum contribution in 2021 for an individual that they can defer is $19,500 per year into the plan. But there's also something IRS calls the catch-up provision. Now, what the catch-up provision, that allows employees age 50 and over an additional deferral of $6,500, which increases their annual maximum to approximately $26,000. So these contributions are all pre-tax, and they will grow tax deferred in the plan until withdrawn at retirement age, at which time all money withdrawn is considered taxable income and reportable on your tax return. So the 401k plan is a real valuable plan if you want to start your saving for retirement. The second type of plan, or the basic way you can save for retirement, it's an employer sponsored plan also, is what we call a pension plan. Now, a pension plan is a little bit different from a 401k plan in that all the additions to the plan are made by the employer. Okay, there is no provision for employee contributions. The amount you receive at retirement is calculated using your number of years you're employed at the company and an average of the salary you receive over that period of time. Okay, so it's a little bit different than a 401k. This benefit is designed to be paid out to the employee monthly, and depending on the distribution option chosen, it can be guaranteed for life of that employee. All right, it's a great benefit to have, although many companies no longer offer pension plans today simply because of the complexity of the tax laws, the cost of administration, IRS restrictions, and so forth. Okay, so if your company has a pension plan, it's a great benefit to take advantage of. Now, but what if my company doesn't offer a retirement plan? Well, that's a good question. So introducing the individual retirement account, better known as the IRA. This account will allow an individual who has earned income during the year an opportunity to contribute to an IRA as a retirement savings option. IRAs have been along for quite a long time now, but an IRA will allow you to contribute up to $6,000 annually, and once again, $7,000 if you're 50 and a half, or I'm sorry, 50 and over. So that is that catch-up provision, once again, applies also to IRAs. Another important fact about traditional IRAs to remember is that any withdrawals from the plan prior to age 59 and a half will incur a 10% IRS penalty along with the ordinary income tax. So these early distributions are not normally a good option. All right. Now, most frequently asked question number 2. What is the difference between a traditional IRA and what they call a Roth IRA? Well, the answer to this question is mainly, how are they taxed? Well, a traditional IRA contribution may be tax deductible, which will make what we call these contributions pre-tax. All right. Now, and they'll grow tax deferred in the IRA until withdrawn. Whereas with a Roth IRA, the contributions that are made to the Roth plan are after-tax contributions. But, and most importantly, these contributions and this account and the earnings will grow tax-free. But keep in mind, the plan must be in place for a minimum of 5 years before they become tax-free. All right. So tax-free growth is an important feature, especially if you're younger, just starting out with many years to go to retirement. That's a great benefit. So how does one open an IRA? Well, that brings to my next section on the 3 ways you can start an IRA. All right. Number 1 is what we call our annual contribution. Now, we've discussed this previously, where we talked about the $6,000 a year contribution, $7,000 if you're 50 and over. All right. That's the annual contribution to an IRA that you're allowed. The second way to put money into an IRA is what they formally call a trustee to trustee transfer. In simple terms, what we're doing is moving an IRA, transferring it from an existing IRA from one financial institution to another for any number of reasons. Most times for better growth. There's any number of reasons we can transfer that. Now, this is done through your financial advisor, where it's you have to remember it must be done trustee to trustee to prevent any tax implications on that transaction. All right, so that's an IRA transfer. And the third way is what we call a direct rollover. Now, a direct rollover involves moving your company-sponsored plan, whether that be a 401k, whether that be a pension, SEP, any qualified employer plan can be moved directly into an IRA. Now, this is normally done when you leave that particular employer, whether it be retirement, termination, or just changing jobs. Now, this also can be quite a complicated process. So I would suggest you first contact a retirement specialist to discuss your options that you have available for a direct rollover. All right. Most frequently asked question number 3. How can I maximize the growth of my IRA? Well, there are a number of ways to grow an IRA. And what you want to keep in mind, and what is very important, is to remember that don't assume that all IRAs are the same. In fact, they can be very different. Members have walked into my office on many occasions requesting to open an IRA, at which point, I will ask them, well, which type of IRA would you like? And at that point, they have a kind of like a blank look on their face, and they look back at me and they say, well, my CPA just told me to go to my financial institution and open an IRA. So now this person basically can walk into, let's say, XYZ Bank, requesting an IRA from a customer service rep. Now, most likely they'll be placed into an IRA savings account, which typically earns less than, let's say, 0.5% per year. So I believe at this point we can safely say that IRAs placed in savings accounts are not designed for long-term growth. So if I have, let's say, 5, 10, or more years until I retire, hypothetically speaking, of course, and will want that IRA to grow, I would have to consider the alternatives that would likely provide that type of growth potential. Now, this list includes mutual funds, stocks, bonds, annuities. Any of these investments can be placed inside of an IRA. In fact, many of you already may be invested in mutual funds through your 401k plan at work. That's not only in your company plan, but almost that's in every plan. I mean, if you think about it, if you were to look at a 401k plan for, let's say, Microsoft or Exxon or one of the major corporations, the basic component of all of those plans is the mutual funds. Mutual funds of all different shapes and sizes inside of that plan are your choices to which you can go in that 401k plan and pick and choose how you want your money to grow for. So what does that tell you? Well, basically what that means is that mutual funds are primarily the most suitable option for long-term growth. Okay. I'm so used to asking, is there any questions at this point? It's getting kind of hard to used to just keep on going each from topic to topic. Anyway, let's move to the final bullet point in the retirement planning section. And that is lifetime income programs. All right, most frequently asked question number 4. If my employer does not offer a company pension plan, is there any way to set up something that will supplement my Social Security and provide a monthly income that is guaranteed for life? Which brings me to my next slide. Pictured in this diagram are the components of retirement savings options: 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, pension. Okay. The diagram classifies each into 2 categories. The circle on the left we have labeled variable. If you're copying this down, I would say right next to variable, you might write next to it non-guaranteed. Okay, and I'll explain that in a minute. The next circle alongside of there is the fixed or guaranteed portion of the retirement savings and the associated investments included in that. Now, the GLI right there in the middle of all that stands for guaranteed lifetime income. Okay. So listed inside the variable circle, which is the non-guaranteed, are the retirement options that are not really designed to provide a monthly income for life, but 401ks and IRAs can be designed for growth and also contain the flexibility where it can be withdrawn at any time. But the only problem with the variable side is you can spend this plan, if you're taking withdrawals and frequent withdrawals, this plan can be spent down to 0, and then the plan is out of money. Hence the name non-guaranteed. Okay. Now, conversely, inside the fixed circle, the guaranteed circle, both Social Security and company-sponsored pension plans are both designed to provide a monthly income for life. In most cases, the amount you receive is predetermined and usually stays fixed for life. There are no investment options and no cash value, i.e., no growth potential nor flexibility. Okay, so just to recap, on the non-guarantee side, you have growth potential and you have flexibility to take as much out of that plan as you desire. On the fixed side is a more structured plan that's going to give you a fixed income guaranteed for life. Now, fortunately, there is a strategy where you can get both. And the overlapping portion of the circles above labeled GLI is that strategy, that guaranteed lifetime income strategy. And what it does is it combines the flexibility and growth potential of the variable plans with the option to receive a guaranteed income for life, like a company-sponsored pension plan. And I call this program a private pension. Now, this strategy is by far one of the most requested options that we provide here at Texas Trust. Okay, so finally, let's move to the next slide to wrap up our discussion on retirement plans. All right, listed are some of the retirement options available to small business owners. Normally, the goal of the small business owner is twofold. Goal number one is an employee benefit option to enhance employee retention. That's one of the goals. And his second goal is, and more importantly, a tax deduction to reduce their taxable income. All right. Some of the options, individual 401k plan, for example. That's a scaled down version of the full-blown 401k. This is usually for a individually owned business, husband and wife company and so forth can open a individual 401k plan. An SCP, now that stands for a simplified employee pension. It's not really a pension though, it's more like an IRA from the standpoint that it's basically a retirement savings program for business owners that supplies a tax deduction. And then you have your simple IRA also as part of the retirement business plan. So that concludes our retirement planning section. So on the next slide, let's briefly discuss a few of the other investment services we have here at Texas Trust. Okay. Investment advisory accounts. Now, these are actively managed investment accounts. Through our association with LPL Financial, we have access to multiple professional money managers who will strategically and tactically manage your money according to your personal investment goals. It's a great program. It's another program that's very popular here at Texas Trust. CD Alternatives, they're vehicles that are suitable for our members who desire more growth on their investment. Now, these may or may not contain a principal guarantee. All right, but they are they fall under the category of CD Alternatives. Now, estate planning and wealth transfer vehicles. Now, these vehicles facilitate the transfer of wealth to the next generation. This is all part of the estate planning process. This includes beneficiary planning, utilizing trust accounts and annuities. All right. And finally, the tax advantage strategies. Tax advantage strategies, well, any investment falls into one of three categories. It's either going to be taxable, either going to be tax deferred, or tax-free. Okay, one of those three categories. Now, if you open up an investment account, have mutual funds inside of that investment account, now not a retirement account, I'm just talking about an ordinary investment account. The mutual funds, if they pay dividends, if they pay interest, this earning of your investment is taxable every year. You'll get a 1099 at the end of the year from the financial institution that will list the amount of interest or dividends you received on your investment during the taxable year, and that's reported on your annual taxable tax return. All right. The second category, the tax deferred investments. Well, it's just like the name sounds. You don't pay taxes on the earnings of your investments annually, but instead, these earnings are tax deferred until you draw the money out. Okay, examples of tax deferred investments. A good example is an annuity. Annuities will grow tax deferred, and you're not taxed on that money until you withdraw it from the annuity itself. It's a great financial planning tool for tax deferral. And all retirement accounts, of course, are all tax deferred also. IRAs, 401ks, the full range of retirement plans. And the third category is tax-free. Okay, tax-free investments normally Well, to specify one in particular, municipal bonds are tax-free. So the interest you earn if you were to invest in a municipal bond. Now, what a municipal bond is a bond that's issued by a state or a city municipality to fund a particular project. Okay, now your purchase of these bonds, you will receive interest on your money, and this interest that you receive is tax-free. It's not reportable on your tax return. It is tax-free interest. Okay, now if you don't want the individual bonds, but you still want tax-free growth, you can look at what we call a municipal mutual fund. All right, a municipal bond fund that is inside of a mutual fund. Now, a mutual fund, well, we'll get into this discussion in a minute, but basically a mutual tax-free bond mutual fund will produce, once again, tax-free interest on that investment. All right, so continuing to the next slide. College savings planning. College savings plans in themselves are an excellent way to save for college for your children or your grandchildren. There are various types of plans available, but by far the most popular is the 401k. I'm sorry, the 529 plan. I'm getting my numbers confused here. The most popular is the 529 plan. The 529 college savings plan has three major advantages. Right? Number one is you can choose how you want your plan to grow. It's similar to a 401k plan. Once again, referencing back to how the 401k plan offers you the chance to pick and choose which mutual funds you want to invest in. And like I said, how you want your money to grow. Well, that's what a 529 plan allows. It's basically you're allowed the type of growth associated with those particular type of mutual funds. Okay, so that supplies the growth potential of the plan. Most plans contain an option called the age-based fund. Now, this choice is the most popular choice because the investments are adjusted periodically as the child gets older. This adjustment occurs automatically, sort of like a set it and forget it strategy. This will take place automatically. So in their younger years, the investments chosen will be more aggressive, more growth oriented. And as the child gets older, closer to the time of distribution out of the plan, those investments will automatically adjust to a more conservative type of strategy, sort of like locking in the gains that you've accumulated over the life of that investment. All right. Now, the second advantage of the 529 plan is that the account will grow tax deferred, and if used for college expenses, the money distributed will be deemed tax-free. So ultimately, if you use that money for college expenses, you can expect to receive tax-free growth on everything that you take out of that plan. Okay, it's an important tool. Finally, the plan has the flexibility to change beneficiaries and retain its tax-free status. Say there are two siblings. One is a senior in high school, the other is a freshman in high school. The older one decides, well, college is just not going to be right for them and decide not to go to college. Well, you have two options at that point. All right. Number one is you can cash out and you can pay tax on the growth, and IRS also charges a 10% penalty on the growth of that particular plan if it's not used for college. On the other hand, with the 529 plan, you have the flexibility to change your beneficiaries. Let's say the one that's the freshman in college or in high school still has 3-4 years to go, hasn't decided yet. You can change the beneficiary on that plan to that particular sibling and let that and retain the tax-free status of the plan itself. All right. On the next slide. And here we just have a brief listing of some of the investment options we utilize. By no means is this an all-inclusive list. There for mutual funds, for example, which is one of the more popular choices. We use mutual funds a lot simply because mutual funds are a managed investment. All right, you don't have to know about stocks. You don't have to know about bonds. You don't have to have an education on financial planning because mutual funds are a managed investment by professional money managers. Okay, thousands of mutual funds out there to pick from. All right. If you prefer the individual investments, we have stocks, bonds available. And then finally, alternative investments. What are alternative investments? Real estate investment trust falls into that category. Precious metals investing, hedging strategies, just to name a few. So that's just some of the products that we utilize here at the credit union, offering investments to our members. So on the next slide, annuities. Annuities, they're another important vehicle that we use here at the credit union that combine tax deferral and growth potential, and in some cases, a principal guarantee. So, of the three types of annuities listed above, two have a fixed principal guarantee option. You have three listed there: variable annuities, fixed index annuities. I wonder if you can guess which one does not have the fixed principal option. All right, if you guessed the variable annuity, that is correct. Now, why is this different from the other two? Once again, I refer back to my description of the 401k plan. All right, a variable annuity is somewhat similar in structure to a 401k plan from the standpoint of it has mutual or investments that are similar to mutual funds inside of that annuity for you to invest in. And as you well know, investments in mutual funds are not guaranteed. They will fluctuate in value. So even though you have more growth potential in a variable annuity, there is no principal guarantee. All right. In a fixed annuity, for the most part, if it's let's say you hold it for the required number of years, you will have a guarantee of principal in that investment. And the same goes for a fixed index annuity. Now, the fixed index annuity has a little more growth potential than the fixed annuity, simply because of the way the interest that you receive is calculated. Once again, to review, all of these annuities will grow tax deferred, and the principal guarantee is included on both the fixed and the fixed index annuities. All right, so on the next slide. All right, life insurance and long-term care plans are used mostly in conjunction with financial plans, but are also available individually. The life insurance, of course, with the term life insurance, whole life insurance, and also the long-term care insurance is another popular vehicle used in financial planning. So, lastly, on the next slide, we ask, so how do we begin this arduous task? Well, your first step is to set an appointment, meet with a financial advisor. This meeting should identify your personal and financial goals. What does that mean? Personal financial goals. Example, saving for possibly a new home in 5 or 10 years from now. Help pay for a child or a grandchild to go to college or private high school, or save for a comfortable retirement. Any of those can be considered one of your financial goals. All right. So how do we approach that? Well, number one, we'd sit down and after we've identified those goals, then we construct a plan, implement that plan, and finally supply the ongoing support, which includes monitoring the process, the progress of those investments, along with the performance of your plan on a regular basis, and making sure we stay within the guidelines of the plan we have set forth. So that completes the formal presentation. I hope you found this information helpful. So now I'd like to turn things back over to Tyra for questions. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. You have provided us with a lot of very useful information. Now I'd like to encourage anyone who is currently watching this live to either ask Jim questions or Miss Patty from Grand Prairie United Charities. Again, we will try to answer as many questions as we can today. If we're unable to get your question, we'll reach out to you directly to get that question answered for you. And then also, if you have a question that will best be answered offline, we'll be sure to direct message you. Let me take a look and see if we have any questions here. Okay, all righty. Well, I'll give everyone a couple more seconds. Looks like we don't have any questions at the moment, but I think we're good. Next one. Okay. All right, so we don't have any questions at the moment, but if we do, Jim, we will make sure that we get those filtered over to you and Sarah, and also to you, Miss Patty. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about anything that we discussed today, or become a member of Texas Trust, or just talk to us directly, please feel free to contact us using the information on the screen. We have some links also posted in the comment section if you'd like to schedule an appointment or have one of us give you a call. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's webinar. Mark your calendar for our final Facebook Live webinar for the year. It'll be on Tuesday, December 14th at noon. It'll be an informative episode about canceling identity theft, delivered by our ID theft case specialist. So, and remember, Texas Trust Credit Union is here with you every step of the way for all of your financial needs. We'll see you next time.